So, good evening everybody. Welcome to Officer Data 247. Today in this particular session of target series, we will be targeting unit number 12 of PPB. So, principles and practices of banking, very important subject, not only because of the bulkiness but because of the actual real life banking problems which the bankers face. You will be learning in this particular subject. When I specifically talk about unit number 12, that is related to payments and specifically for the negotiable instruments. We must know that what all are the NIs and how they are being governed in our country. So, Negotiable Instrument Act automatically will become important. For various transactions, what all process flow is there when we talk about all those checks or for that matter payment. Let's see in this particular video. So, first of all, you must know that the NIA, it deals with what? So, Negotiable Instrument Act 1881, it deals with three kind of instruments. That is very important to know, and along with that, what is the further bifurcation that we will be seeing in this particular lecture. So, it deals with the P notes, that is promissory notes, then bills of exchange. The process flow from bills of exchange is very important. Mark this, quite important, because direct question has already been asked, and when we talk about this particular examination for November 2025, we can expect one question directly from bills of exchange, plus the checks called the negotiable instrument. So, check, P note along with your bills of exchange form the negotiable instruments. Starting off with check, in the CTS chapter, the previous chapters, we have seen that what is truncation. When you talk about the English language meaning of truncation, it is to reduce certain process flow, and specifically for check, the electronic payments are being enabled via the CTS system. That is the brief background of your truncated check or check truncation system. So, check, everybody knows, being a banker, you guys deal in checks mostly on daily basis. So, check is a bill of exchange drawn on specified banker and not expressed to be payable otherwise than on demand. Definitely, it is a demand note, I would say, and it includes the electronic image of truncated check and the check in the electronic form mentioned specifically in section 6 of your NIA 1881. Fine, for all of you who are having any kind of doubt, you can just ask me in the live chat, and if you are watching this in a recorded format, do let me know your doubts in the comment section. Next, what we need to know about the check in electronic form. So, it is drawn in electronic form by using any computer resource and signed in secure system with digital signature. When you talk about specific checks in used in net banking, mostly by the CC limit owners in the revolving fund, they have the access to a particular check which is digitally signed, and they can make payment using those checks as well. Specifically, when I talk about the CTS system, it is a particular system for a branch wherein you will be mapping all those physical checks into the electronic form only in the gray scale. That is the important point which we must know. Truncated check is truncated during the course of a clearing cycle immediately on generation of the electronic image. Why it is done? It is beneficial for both the parties, let's just face it. Firstly, for the bank, if you are using these images, they are helpful that yes, in order to establish that yes, we have done or completed the transaction from our end. For the customer, why it is beneficial? It is easier that way, that the transaction time has been reduced drastically as compared to earlier. Next, when we talk about the promissory note, another negotiable instrument, it is an instrument in writing, fine, not being a bank note or currency note, containing some undertaking, some type of undertaking will be there on this type of note. Basically, you can say that it is a note. Initially, though, it is a note, promissory note, it becomes afterwards, all the documentation has been done. So, containing an unconditional undertaking signed by the maker who has made this undertaking to pay a certain sum of money only to or to the order of a certain person, whosoever is the beneficiary. It will be signed by the person who is paying, and the person's name to whom it has been redirected will also be mentioned here, or to the bearer of the instrument, mentioned in section 4 of the NIA again. So NIA 1881, a very bulky act, I would say. If you have time after your banking hours, you can just download the act from your official website also, that is whatever bank you are working in. From there you can see a particular website is dedicated to all the important circulars. There definitely NIA act will be there. So I promise to pay B or order rupees 500, like that you will find a promissory note. I acknowledge myself to be indebted to B in rupees 1000 to be paid on demand for the value received. Whatever language is there, it will be known as promissory note. Next, when we talk about bill of exchange, what is the basic definition? Let's see that first, and then we'll be talking at length about the bill of exchange. It is an instrument in writing containing an unconditional order signed by the maker directing to a certain person to pay a certain sum of money, or to the order of the person to the bearer of the instrument. Same, exactly the same language of P note. But what is the difference here? In bills of exchange, some parties, specific parties will be involved, and the mechanism is different. Let's see. So there are parties: drawer, drawee and payee. I hope that from the name itself you are able to gauge that drawer will be the person who creates the bill, fine, who is creating. So the creator is the drawer. Drawee, on whom the bill is drawn, usually the debtor. Okay, so you are providing some amount to this particular drawee. Then we have payee, the person or entity who receives the payment. So when we talk about bills of exchange, most important thing to know is that your drawer is a bank. Okay, I hope that it is visible to everyone. Okay. So bill of exchange transaction, it involves up to 3 parties. First of all, you will have a drawee, an individual. You have a drawer, that is a bank, and a payee, again one individual. So mostly the foreign transactions which are happening via the bill of exchange, they will involve some importer, trader. So international trade, the drawee is the importer or the buyer. For the payee, when we talk about under the international trade, he or she will be the seller, or for that matter the exporter. Bank being the drawer, in the international trade the drawer is usually a confirming bank. In LCs also you might have seen some part of this type of setup, not exactly the same, but yes, some you can say steps are similar in LC as well. So the drawee is the party that pays the sum, fine. They are paying this sum specified in the bill of exchange. The payee is the one who receives the sum. So that is the debtor. Here this is the creditor. The drawer is the party that obliges the drawee to pay the payee. Basically, the financial institution which is intermediary between the drawee and the payee, they will be very essential in order to ascertain this transaction for the international trade. Okay. So I hope the mechanism is clear. The drawee, then drawer, and then we have payee. When I talk about the specifics of drawee, drawer, or the holder in due course, all these terms are again important. So drawee we have seen. Holder, the holder of P note, basically bill of exchange or check means any person that is entitled in his own name to the possession and to receive or recover the amount. So whosoever is receiving the amount, the holder. Holder in due course, it is the holder as payee or the endorsee or the bearer. In case of check payable to the bearer, who for consideration became the possessor of the P note, the bill of exchange or the check, and there is no sufficient cause to believe any defect exists in the title of the person from whom he derived his title. So in due course, the final bearer of that particular check in case of checks will be known as the holder in due course. Negotiation, a P note, bill of exchange, check transfer to any person to make the holder thereof is said to be negotiated. So negotiation, if it is happening in any of these negotiable instruments, it is known as negotiation. Next we have payment of check. So very simple aspects are there whenever we are talking about payment of check, or for that matter the mechanism which is involved in bill of exchange. Mostly so mostly we will find that the negotiable instruments have a common format. Like for check, we know that this type of reference will be there, date will be there, amount is here, here we have the signature, name of the bank, the particular branch, and here we have MICR. So all these are not that important for the exam, but yes, certain important definitions we must know. So the branch on which it is drawn, the check, with CBS, banks are providing anywhere banking. So a check can be presented for payment at any branch of the bank. No doubt there are certain limits to this, but yes, any branch they can present. Date must be mentioned along with the payee. A check may be made payable to single payee or joint payees, or you can say alternative payees as well. When I talk about the order check or bearer check, the bearer will hold that particular amount whatever is mentioned in the check. Amount stated in the word and figure. So specifically you must remember the section. So section 18, it says that if the amounts in the words and figures differ, amount in the word shall be paid. So figures versus words, words will be preferred. But in practice these are returned unpaid with the reason amount in words and figures differ. There is a mismatch and penalty will be also levied in certain cases. So in effect, when we talk about the practical banking, the things are done differently, but via a particular negotiable instrument act section, you will say that it will be paid regarding the amount in words. If amount in words is supposingly 20,000, fine, it is written 20,000, and in the figure it is written like this, 2000. So 20,000 will be paid. That is mentioned in section 18. But normally, being a banker, you can also acknowledge this fact. This type of check is unpaid and returned. Okay. Next, when I talk about if the check is all having certain alteration, it is mutilated. So any alteration, any material alteration of negotiable instrument renders it void. Any material alteration should be authenticated under the full signature of the drawer. So whosoever is signing the check again has to sign along with acknowledgement of the alteration. Mutilation, if a check is accidentally torn by the drawer, he may confirm the mutilation and the check can be paid if otherwise in order. It can be paid definitely, but again in practice, in practical banking, we try to avoid such circumstances. If accidentally torn by the collecting banker, he should put an endorsement as mutilation granted on the back of your check. Okay. So mutilation guaranteed, that is from our end it has happened, and we acknowledge our mistake. So mostly the mutilation is taken very seriously in the banks. If you are a new banker, do have this thing in mind while collecting any kind of check, that mutilation should not be done. Otherwise, some bankers are reprimanded because of that also. Fine. Signature of the drawer. So when we talk about the signature specifically, what happens here? Signature of drawer is an authority given by the account holder to debit his account with the amount of check, whatever is written there. What is important under this signature is this: section 89 of NI Act provides protection to the paying banker for the forged endorsement, but not if the drawer's signature is forged. So section 89 specifically, it will be providing the protection to the paying banker, okay, if the endorsement is forged, some falsified endorsement is there. But if the drawer's signature is forged, section 89 cannot help you. Stop payment instruction. So if a particular party is not having the funds, or for that matter mistakenly the check has been produced, now they want to stop that particular payment, what can be done? Before paying a check, the bank should check for any stop payment instruction from the drawer returned with the reason payment countermanded by the drawer itself. So check will be returned in case of stop payment instruction has been instated. For joint accounts, stop payment instruction can be given by any of the joint account holder. For partnership account, cancellation of stop payment may be given by all the partners. So partnership accounts, that's why people think that let's not indulge in partnership accounts, because everything is a liability on all the partners. Limited companies, cancellation of stop payment instruction must be given by all the authorized signatories. We have seen in the previous chapters there are what? 2 authorized signatories. They will be acknowledging, not all, fine, as there was in partnership accounts. Other aspects, what all other aspects are there while making a payment via check? At the time of making payment, the bank should also verify that the balance in the account is sufficient. Account balance, important. No garnish order. The court order is not there pending for that particular account, or recovery has to be made from that account. Income tax attachment is there, the attachment order by the income tax department. Again, recovery will be done. Prohibiting the payment has been received. No notice of death, insolvency or insanity of the drawer has been received. So all those important points: no garnish order, no income tax attachment order, no insolvency, bankruptcy or insanity against the particular drawer must be there, and you must check the balance. It must have the sufficient balance. Simple things again while payment of a check is being done. Okay, now payment in due course. Right now you are not paying the amount, in due course it will be settled. So paying bank gets the protection. Due course is defined under the section 10 of the NIA Act. It means payment in accordance with the apparent tenor of the instrument in good faith, without the negligence to any person in possession thereof, under circumstances which do not afford a reasonable ground for believing that he is not entitled to receive the payment of the amount therein mentioned. So basically a particular protection has been provided to the paying bank if the bank has been held accountable for a XYZ transaction amount. So it is defined under which section? Section 10. Then liability of the paying bank defined under section 31. Here you will find that sufficient and adequate funds are available, and if the sufficient funds are not available, then what? They are not properly applicable when the payment of check is stopped. So you have stopped the payment of a particular check, funds are still available. Liability of the paying bank: when the drawer is dead and the intimation has been received, still you have provided that yes, you can go through, or you can say go ahead with the particular amount which is mentioned in the check. Liability again. Funds are attached under the garnish account, income tax office or attachment, all these which we have discussed in the previous slide, that you cannot go ahead with such things, otherwise you will face a liability. Funds are earmarked for a specific purpose, funds are set off by the bank, or when the bank balance is not a clear balance, debit balance there is, then again liability of the paying bank. Okay, so this was it from my side, the most important points for unit number 12. See, one thing you must remember, when we are talking about the target series, it is not a holistic coverage. At max you can use it as a revision class if you have already studied these chapters. Okay, you will not find the entire syllabus on YouTube channel, that is JAIIB CAIIB English Medium. Why I am saying this? Because we cannot cover the entire syllabus within this time frame of half an hour, 20 minutes. For that you must uh, uh, start your revision from this particular you can say target series, or if you have not revised and you are a fresher, you want one stop solution for your exam needs for JAIIB November 2025, I would highly recommend you consider a professional guidance. You should not be very much into that zone that now we are having approximately 4 months for the examination of PPB. We can clear it if we start today from self-study mode. In the self-study mode, there are n number of I would say negative things which can happen and they can hamper your preparation. Like, you have to manage your time on your own. You must know what all is important for the examination. You do not have any kind of guidance when it comes to the doubt clearing. Then you do not know that what type of MCQs are there in the examination and whether the Macmillan book will suffice while you are discussing or going through the particular book for the practice material. So everything will be not falling in the line. If you want to clear this particular exam, highly recommended try the professional guidance, and we at Officer Adda 247 have specifically designed the curriculum in our paid batches. So success batch is one of the paid batch. Along with that, increment batch is also there for you. In the upcoming months, we'll be launching more batches, but advisable always is to start early. Plus, when we talk about the deliverables, you will be having the live classes in success batch as well as increment batch. You will be having the recordings of those particular classes in these batches aligned after you can say 2 or 3 hours. Then you will be having the mock tests also, unit wise mock tests will also be there. Along with that, full length mock tests will be in the JAIIB Maha Pack, plus ebooks are also provided. So if you ask me which is the best batch, or for that matter best study material which you should enroll in, it will be the JAIIB Maha Pack, because it includes not only your success batch, not only the increment batch, not only the bilingual medium batches, but it includes everything. It includes all those batches which will be launching for November 2025, be it bilingual or English medium. You will be having the access to the Power Pack revision batch for the last minute revision before the exam. You will be having the access to the crash course also, which will be starting off in the last month of our exam preparation, plus full length mock test will also be there. So I think that if you are serious to crack this exam in November 2025, do consider these offerings and utilize them for making it happen in this attempt only. Okay, so if you have any kind of doubt, you can just ask me now, else we can conclude the session. Okay, still if you have any kind of doubt, just comment in the comment section and we'll be addressing to all your doubts as soon as possible. What should be the course of action from today? You should start revising. If you are studying on your own, you must start revising. Time will fly away. You won't be able to recognize the importance of time sooner, but after 1 month or so, you will think that I should have started my preparation early. Okay, so thank you everybody for being patient listeners. We'll meet in the next session, and till then, goodbye, take care.